Hello and welcome to Manga Tour 96, and today we're going to talk about Kumo Desu Nani. Today's topic will be the spider species that Kumoko is part of, going through every possible evolutionary phase and every possible form that a spider can have. That is, if they can survive long enough to evolve from their weak selves after they are born. Now, to start things off, let's briefly cover what the spiders actually are in that world. Spiders, also known as Tarax, encompasses a race of large arachnoid monsters found in the other world. All spider-type monsters descend from Ariel, the origin Taracte. Moving on to the starting line of every spider's life, they start off as a small lesser Taracte, which are the offsprings of Queen Taracte. They can be found in the upper stratum of the Great Elora Labyrinth or the forest surrounding the elf village. They are weak, danger level F, the lowest possible. In addition to being weak status-wise, all it knows is how to charge an opponent head-on, so it's simple to defeat. However, some individuals will occasionally build nests, which makes them much more dangerous. If a nest is discovered, it should be destroyed immediately. Both the spider's threat and the spider itself can be destroyed by fire. Moving on to the first evolution, where the spiders can choose between two species to evolve to. The first one being the lesser Taracte, which are an evolution of small lesser Taracters that are around 5 meters in length. It is a rare species since small lesser Taracters usually do not live long enough to evolve. When Kumoko reached the level cap for small lesser Taracters, lesser Taracter was one of the evolution options presented to her. However, she ultimately opted against it in favor of small Taracte, as she would rather be a small than lesser. The second option is the small lesser Taracte, which appears to be almost identical to its unevolved siblings. At level 10, it usually evolves into a Taracte. If the individual has the Poison Technique user title, it can instant evolve into a small Poison Taracte. Moving on to the second evolution, where the spiders can also choose between two species to evolve to. The first one is Taracte, which is a possible evolution for small Taractes and small Poison Taractes, being essential the species' adult form. Kumoko is given the option to evolve into a normal Taracte twice, when she reached the level cap for small Taractes and small Poison Taractes. However, she opted against it on both occasions in favor of the rare small Poison Taracte and small and agile Zoe Ella, as the size increase of the main species would be disadvantageous in the narrow Great Elora Labyrinth. The second option is the small Poison Taracte, which is a subspecies of Taracte, specializing in poison. It is characteristic by the red orbs containing poison all over its body. Moving on to the third evolution, where the spiders can also choose between two species to evolve to. The first one being the Poison Taracte, which is a subspecies of Taracte known for its extremely powerful poison. The second one is Zoe Ella, which is specialized in agility and rote attacks. It's characterized by its pitch black body and sight-like forefeet. It's a small spider-type monster that is feared as an ill omen. Because few witnesses have ever seen it, it's said that anyone who merely encounters one will die within the next few days. Legend says that it will often suddenly appear behind its victims and use rote attack to lop off their heads. Its danger level varies depending on its stats, but its basic abilities as listed above will be ranked C. For the fourth evolution, the spiders can choose between 3 different species. The first one being the Great Taracte, which is a Taracte subspecies. It is characterized by its large and bulky physique, which allows it to fight its opponents head-on, without relying on any sort of strategy. The first evolution of the Taracte monster class, only a small fraction of individuals reach this form. The evolution is strong enough to be able to hunt without relying solely on its venom. Capable of killing an Elor Grage Guard with only its fangs and mass. They can be found in the lower stratum of the Great Elora Labyrinth. An average individual has a danger level of B, but some of them can reach level A. The second option is Ortadinacht, which specializes in magic, has high intelligence, and is capable of advanced strategies like setting traps. But it has no further evolutions. When Kumoko reached the level cap for Zoe Ella, Ortadenhan was one of the evolutionary options presented to her. However, she ultimately opted against it as she was already able to use its unique features through her human intelligence. Also, this species was at the end of its evolutionary line, which would make becoming one be counterproductive for the future. And lastly, we have Ede Seine, which is feared as a symbol of death that specializes in stealth and rote attacks. It is characterized by its black body except for a white skull pattern on its back and its two scythe-like front legs. A spider-type monster feared as an omen of death. It is said that the moment you encounter this terrifying creature, your fate is sealed. Because there are so few living witnesses, it is difficult to assess its precise danger level. It is estimated to be at least level B. For the 5th evolution, the spiders can once again choose between two species to evolve to. With the first one being the Arctica, which is powerful enough to rival fully grown dragons. They often serve as the elite forces of Queen Tarakta. It's a spider monster so powerful it rivals even dragon-type monsters. Its toughness and physical strength more than matches its enormous body and is shockingly fast despite its appearance. It's clever enough to use poison and fright attacks to its full advantage. This monster has few weaknesses. According to reports, any attempt to attack an Arctica that has built a web is essentially suicide. Its danger level is S. The second species that the spider can choose is the Zana horova, which is characteristic by its scythe-like front legs, the skull pattern on its back, and being completely white. The evolution for it is only available to Ede Seine, specializing in rote attacks, and achieving it grants the unique skill Immortality. It's a monster with no confirmed sightings in a recorded history. As such, there is little to no information about it and is shrouded in mystery. It is said to be an evolution of the Ede Seine, but even that is merely conjecture. The only monster said to have evolved into this species is the one known as the Nightmare of the Labyrinth, which is considered to be an extremely dangerous legendary class monster. Kumoko evolves into this form after defeating an Arctica under insurmountable odds against Mother's army in the Great Lore Labyrinth. She is surrounded by multiple Arcticas and a new puppet Tarakta that Kumoko has never seen before. After engaging in close quarter combat with one to reduce the ability of the other Arcticas to hit her safely, she kills the one before finishing her great teleportation spell and escaping to safety. The Zana Horova's immortality skill proves vital to defeating Mother and evading Ariel, allowing Kumoko to gain considerable power. Though far inferior in terms of raw destructive power to its direct counterpart, the Queen Tarakta, Zana Horova possesses the immortality skill, which makes them impossible to kill unless one uses Hairsair or Abyss magic. However, since the requirements for evolving into this species require the Rot attribute, Zana Horovas are expected to have resistance towards the former, leaving Abyss magic as their only vulnerability. Being immortal also allows this species to use attacks with recall damage without having to worry about their ramifications. For the 6th and final evolution, in normal circumstances, there is only one possibility, and that's the Queen Tarakta, which are massive spider monsters. It is said that a hero with his army sacrificed themselves in order to defeat a single queen. There are only 5 alive in the entire world. A queen that lords as the most powerful of spider monsters, boasting a size so large it can cause destruction just by walking. It is said to be powerful enough that even a single individual can destroy an entire country. Even an army cannot defeat a Queen Tarakta, yet the queen often uses axe slaying to increase the number of its minions. There are only 5 in the entire world, each of them considers the most powerful monster in its area. A legendary class monster that cannot be defeated by humans. According to Dustin, Queen Taraktas are unique even among other legendary class monsters. That being the case, they acquired their strength by leveling up and evolving, whereas other legendaries were simply created with all of their strength by either D or Gildenstotz. Perhaps as a result of this battle experience, this species is generally regarded as the strongest in the world, with it normally taking multiple other legendaries to take one down. One of the Queen Taraktas gave birth to Kumoko. This one is nicknamed Mother. Kumoko tries to avoid her as much as possible due to her extreme violence and power. Kumoko meets her again in the middle stratum of the Great Allure Labyrinth and again when Kumoko leaves the labyrinth. Mother attempts to kill Kumoko because Kumoko's spiral minds are eating at her soul. She is personally killed by Kumoko in a weakened state, reducing their total global numbers to 4. Normally, a spider can only evolve 6 times to the pinnacle that is the Queen Taracte, but as Kumoko isn't normal, she did find a new way to evolve into a form even further beyond, which is the Arachne, a Taracte subspecies with the upper body of a human and a spider for a lower body. It is a special evolution available exclusively to small to medium sized Taractes that are at least level 50 and possess the Pride skill. It's a monster with no confirmed sightings in a recorded history. As such, there is little to no information about it and is shrouded in mystery. It is said that the human part of the monster's body has the appearance of an exceptionally beautiful girl, but this is only a rumor. Because there are so few witnesses, it is questionable whether this monster even exists at all. The only sighting occurred during the period in which the Nightmare of the Labyrinth or a Nightmare's Vestige were also sighted, so it is thought that the witness may have simply mistaken them for this creature. Because its very existence is in doubt, it is impossible to measure the danger level of this monster. Realizing it will be impossible to communicate with humans in her spider body, Kumoko makes her long-term goal to evolve into Arachne, hoping that having a human torso might make her more appealing. The abilities of an Arachne appear to depend heavily on what species it was before evolving, the traits of which the spider half inherits. Overall, the evolution does not give any unique skills and merely offers an increase in stats. In fact, they might even lose some skills should they be incompatible with the body structure. Kumoko lost the swim skill she had as a Zana Horova. However, in turn an Arachne does possess some of humanity's unique traits through their human half, like being capable of speech and equipping items. Furthermore, having both a human and spider body gives it a unique field of vision and 2 brains. If one were to be destroyed, the other can continue operating just fine. The Arachne isn't the only spider species outside the usual evolution, as there is still one additional species that originally served the Demon King, Ariel, and that's the Puppet Taractes, which are intelligent spider monsters comparable to Queen Taracte but are only palm-sized. The actual spider makes up the core of a human-sized mannequin with 6 arms. Each arm wields a weapon with extreme efficiency. With a puppet-like outer shell made of threads wrapped around them, the main body is a spider in the chest region the size of a fist. That spider able to move by pulling on the threads is the real part of this monster. The manipulation puppet is like the crust of the main body. Like the shell of the hermit crab, having stats averaging higher than 10,000, which can go higher through modification with their threads. The puppet shell is actually made of threads that are tightly wound until they become an incredibly hard material. A person with an appropriate skill like thread manipulation can change the appearance of the shell, which is what Shiraori does. With this, I covered everything that I wanted to cover on the spider species. And that will be all for this video. If you like this video, leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comments below, or subscribe to the channel for more manga reviews and One Piece content. And until next time, take care.